Hi everyone, this is Aaron with Crypto Trends. Today is December 4th, 2018. XLM and XRP Mooned. Yes. So we're going to take a look at a short-term market for the general overall market, a few coins and stuff. Also, please keep in mind that this is not financial advice, just my opinion. We're also going to be taking a quick look at TheKey MatrixAI and what's going on with their well, basically, their government contract stuff. So here we go. So let's go into the TheKey MatrixAI first, because that's a quick one. Yes, I'm streaming. Yay, I'm streaming. Okay, so the key is TKY. It's on CoinMarketCap. You can see it's down, according to CMC, it's down 6%, a little bit more. Yeah, second wind. Everything is second wind, right? Okay. So click on their homepage, and there's a link to their homepage down in the comments. And if you scroll all the way down, people are looking for, the government contracts that they have, the agreements and so forth like that, because that's an important thing, right? It's a pretty big partnership. Anyway, let's read this down here at the bottom, okay? The Key project team is now developing an identification verification IDV tool with blockchain-based dynamic multi-dimension identification BDMI by using personally identifiable information PII, which is exclusively, see that right there, exclusively authorized by government authorities. Okay, so they have an exclusive agreement for the identification information. That's the record stored in the government databases. Like if you're in the US, the information in like the DMV and stuff, they'll tap into. So they have exclusive access to that. Big deal. Okay, huge big deal. Also on the Key, if you go over to their social and you go to over here at the top, it says the Key essential information, which is real nice. Click on that. It brings up a whole bunch of points, 23 copyrights, etc. I'll go ahead and let you read that stuff. Anyway, it's a nice little introduction, so on and so forth. Okay, and they have links to AMAs and where they're listed. It's a nice overview, so check that out. Okay, so that's a big one. And then we know that VeChain has agreements with Shanghai, where it's doing the vaccine traceability thingy, and also it's currently doing a pilot program for liquefied natural gas, and that's going to be rolled out. So we'll see. I mean, these are pilot programs. The Key too is in a pilot program. Their mainnet just launched. And going back to not going back, but taking a look at MatrixAI, which I really never covered. Anyway, here's their site, okay, and they're real big into artificial intelligence. And if you have even followed Chairman Xi, the president of China, if you ever followed him at all, you know that he is real big into blockchain and artificial intelligence. That's like one of the prime directives of their 5-year plan. And so, yeah, go ahead and check out MatrixAI. The link is below in the, the link is below. You can go ahead and find it. Check out their website. This is not a full review, but anyway. Also, so what about their information on contracts? What I did find was this was a link to an AMA. Okay, this should give you guys some information here. And right here, as most of you know, Matrix has signed an exclusive cooperation agreement with the Belt and Road Development Center. Okay, that is a big deal. So the question was, I've heard Matrix is spreading into gaming industry and healthcare, but haven't heard anything new related to OBOR, One Belt, One Road. That's what that is. That's their 5-year plan. It's check it out. It's a big deal. Okay, that's how China does things. They do things in stages, but this is a big deal. Moving on, it says, Is the Matrix still an exclusive blockchain partner of One Belt, One Road? Would be interesting to hear some news about what man is the tick symbol for MatrixAI, for what man is planning doing in this regards. Holding huge bags of man and planning to run a node, but want some updates. Thanks. Okay, and so they just said, yeah, we have an agreement with the One Belt, One Road initiative, and nothing has changed. So there you go. So this is another important thing with China. And check them out. I'm not saying buy them or dump them or whatever. I'm just saying, hey, if this is interesting to you, check them out. And something could come of this, and something might not. But where are they at local? Where are they sitting at currently? If we go over to KuCoin, which they're listed, and this is the ETH pairing, the man ETH pairing on the 8-hour. Here's their little chart. There it is. So, yeah, how's that looking to you? Okay. So yeah, they got like Binance here, everything. Yeah, that tends to happen. Big old dump, whoosh. That happens. So they got Binance basically on KuCoin. And so they've been hovering right around here, and this is like pretty much, you know, right in their low range. And you can see here that they have a little trading range going on. Basically you take it from right around this point here. That would be like the automatic reaction. You take it right around there. And as you can see, it's about even over here with that first automatic reaction. And then, yeah, they had a dumping, okay? But anyway, take a look at that. Also, if you take a look at the key, so we'll go look at the key. That is TKY. See where they're at today. Okay, their chart looks quite a bit different, doesn't it? They have been doing fairly well. Yeah, so yeah, there you go. Anyway, tell me what you think of MatrixAI and TheKey. All right, so that's enough of that. Let's kill that. Let's kill that. Let's kill that. Kill the key. Well, not kill the key, but you know what I mean. And kill this, and let's go look at market stuff. So, and tell me where you guys think the market is going, okay? And please keep in mind, this is not financial advice, just my opinion. This is kind of like where I think it's going. I have been right before. Yeah, I have been wrong before. You bet. I certainly have. Anyway, what's going on? First, let me explain all these big yellow lines that you see. These are important dates. Right here, if we go back, this was an important date where we had this huge, let me get it out of the way a little bit. We had this huge downward V-shaped spike. That was from the G20. It was going down, 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 down. All of a sudden got positive news from the G20 that the governments around the world aren't going to like totally kill Bitcoin. Wham, shot the price up, right? Okay, everyone was happy. And so we had election day. And notice, not too far after election day, boom, fell into the toilet. This was the original back date on December 12th, and it has since been moved out to right around this range here, okay? And then I just have some other stuff going on here. It's like not important right now. Anyway, so this white line here, if we take a look at it, it's like the long-term trend line. And right around here on election day, that's, I mean, really, I mean, almost to the, I mean, within, almost like within hours, it seems like that this thing just hit that line and it, wham, it dumped. It's truly amazing how things like that happen. Nothing to see here, right? Coincidence. But anyway, that's what this long-term trend line was. And this is where we're at right now, okay? Sucking wind. So where do I think it's going to go? Keep in mind, these are, you know, just energy readings and guesses. This is sentiment. This is the overall sentiment of the people of where they're hoping. Let's see, this is their hopes and desires of where they're hoping for it to go. Sometimes the actual charts, the bar charts follow this line. So sentiment can be an indicator of where the prices are going and stuff. And sometimes they're not. But if you go just off of sentiment, you know, people are wishing for it to go up and somebody else has some different plans, you know. So like whales get in, the manipulators. Wyckoff calls them the, what do they call them? The, I forgot, but they have a term, composite operator. And basically it's just the ones with the money that are moving the market, okay? Either a group or an entity, individual, whatever. But anyway, where I see Bitcoin, this is BTC USD on the 1 day on the logarithmic chart. Right around here, this is like where I'm seeing it going. So I'm looking for it to go a little bit flat and then bloop down here in this range. And then we'll see if it goes bloop right down here. And you might be thinking, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Well, the thing is, I mean, if you look at these lines here, okay, these dotted lines, what do we have? We have basically the median of this line here. And that's another way on how you can chart. Let me get my little, where's my little, there it is, brush. You can think of if you go off the median, you can think of it as just a sine wave like that. And then so you go, you know, pretty much right through the center, okay? Now that's one way to do it. There's other ways, of course. A lot of people go off the tops or a little bit below. Some go at the bottoms. It's really an art form. It's really an art form. There's you know, guidelines and stuff to do, but after you've been doing it for a while, you learn what works for you, okay? So yeah, follow what works for you and discover that. Anyway, so if we go back and look at these lines, what are these? Well, we have basically the median line, okay? Boom, that's the first line. Second one is from this little tick right here, but it also lines up with the bottom of that. So we're looking, we need a minimum of 2 points to draw a line. Down here, this one was at the top, boom, boom, boom. And I put it there because it also lined up with this point here. As you can see that, this point, this point, this point. So the top of this one, so we have like 3-4 hits on this line. So that looks like a pretty good line to me. All right, so those are, you know, they say previous lines of support is resistance and vice versa. Just depends which way you're looking at the line from. So that's what these are. So I'm looking at this. I'm looking at it to come down here, maybe do a little bounce and then fall, which would be another one of these red thingies. So we'll see. Right now, the trend is, you know, it's a downward trend. Blah. Downward trend. Not doing so good. But what happens if it hits down in here and it's still dumping? Yeah. So if you look at the red volume, yeah, a lot of red volume. We've had a bunch of green here to pop it up, and that's getting tired. The volume is getting tired there. And so I'm looking for another resting point, okay? And then when things rest, there's no upward pressure to keep it pushed up, okay? And you can answer this yourself. Do you have any money to go out and buy Bitcoin? Do you know any friends that have a ton of money to go out and buy Bitcoin? No. Do we hear a bunch of FOMO about it? Not really. It's just not like it was last year. And yes, these times have changed. I mean, we have the CBOE and CME that have come into play. And then we have BACT coming around the corner. So BACT is right around this time period too. So bloop, I'm looking for something for it to go boop. So we'll just see. Can it go the opposite way? Absolutely. I mean, this thing could skyrocket to 26,000 tomorrow. You know, I mean, not probable, but it could. Anyway, so that's where I think BTC is going, and that is because this huge drop down here is because really there isn't, after this point here, there really isn't much more support. Yeah, we have this one little line right in this area, about 1800 mark, 1700 mark, but really not until about here. I made a boo-boo. Let me bring it on down. I meant to draw it on that line. Must have been at a different scale. So yeah, so right around there. So it's about this line. That's pretty much my target. And I'm actually going to bring it in, so it could happen a little bit sooner. We'll see. But that looks pretty drastic. That looks pretty drastic. And then, yeah, another one down here. And this is, that is basically off the median of here. But I'm liking it better right around in this range, which is, let's just do from here to there. Okay. If we go down there, that's pretty drastic. Do I think we'll go down that far? I really don't think so. But that is a pretty main support level, and we do start hitting things. If we go back here, this is actually a pretty main support level, isn't it? So probably hit up there first, and then we'll see what happens. One thing to keep in mind right now, this sentiment, which is a gauge of people's desires and where they want it to go and so on and so forth. The problem with it, is that it still shows hope. People still have hope. They think Bitcoin is worth putting their money into, that it's going to go up, that it's going to be a great thing. They're hoping that Backed is going to come in and they're going to be doing a whole bunch of just injecting a whole bunch of money into the market and so on and stuff like that. But what's going to happen over here, let me bring up Mr. I can just draw. I'll just use my little tool here. But what I think is actually going to be happening, I'll just scroll out so I have some drawing area. Excuse me. So let's say this is, there. Let's say this is the market that we play in, okay? Where we can actually, the retail investors can actually go in and buy coins and so on and so forth, okay? So that's one basically market. Another market is the OTC, right? Okay, so that's the OTC. And then another market is going to be the big boys. I'll just put a B there for big. Retail investors, okay? So basically what they're doing is that, yeah, we see no or very little price influence from one market to the other. Yeah, there is some, but when these guys make a big, huge buy, it doesn't really make a huge difference in the markets that we play in, like on Binance or KuCoin or Bitfinex. It really doesn't make a big difference because there's like a barrier here where we don't really, it's not affecting the prices, okay? It's OTC and it's not affecting the prices so much. And that's pretty much by design. Over here with the big boys, yeah, they've been buying OTC and they've already been buying on these markets. But the thing is, when these guys start going and they have their daily trades going on with their futures and stuff, same thing, it's not going to affect the OTC markets so much, and it's definitely not going to affect, well, I can't say definitely, but I'm pretty sure it's going to have little effect on our markets here. And so when these guys get in and they start trading, we're not going to see any effect. We're going to say, well, where's all this institutional money? Well, it's all contained within their bounds. They're basically taking the market, the huge money market, away from you and me and keeping it all to themselves with their own investors and their own clients. Okay? That's how I see it, and that's what's going on. Yeah, there'll be some influence coming, back and forth a little bit, but not a huge bunch, but enough for manipulation. Let's put it that way. Enough for manipulation. So if these guys are running out of coins and they want more coins, okay, manipulate this market, this kind of drop, and this one here, right? And then they can pick some up, or they can get it here, whatever. Or they can probably more than likely just steal it from their customers. That's what. Anyway, they're actually not going to steal it, but what they're going to try to do is take their cheap coins and offload it into like a Wyckovian distribution pattern, where they're offloading their bags to the unsuspecting retail clientele. Okay, but as far as back coming in, switch back over here. As far as back coming in, and it's like over in this event, people are going to say, oh gosh, you know, there might be a big it might go down and up again. But I'm thinking, okay, fine, when they actually realize this and they're not seeing any huge volumes and stuff come into this market, when back starts going, they're going to lose faith. Wham, it's going to cause a dump down. And it just depends how far that dump goes. It could go here and it can go here. If it goes here, you better believe that these guys are going to be picking up some coin. Okay, it's way back in here. This was where a lot of them picked some up before. Some of these guys have been in the market for years, and they were able to pick it up back in here. And yeah, so there you go. So that's BTC. Oh, all in all, on a short term, and keep in mind, this is a short term perspective, okay? Very, very short term for me. Overall, bearish. Long term, I'm bullish. Okay, I am bullish on Bitcoin long term, but short term, you know, I'm bullish. Bearish. Anyway, Bitcoin has a lot of interesting things, a lot of good energy for it in the future, and we'll see where it goes. And can this happen? Sure. Can it not happen? Absolutely. Man, I could be so wrong. It's pathetic. But we'll just see where it goes. And the thing is put your comments below. Where do you think it's going? Okay, and we're trying to be real here. Okay, so let's go on to what the topic said on XRP and XLM. Okay, let's look at XRP here because it is number 2 in the market, and I think I did it on ETH, maybe USD. No, I did it on ETH. Okay, so let me get rid of that. That was just a test. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is basically, so they've had a really, really good strong time of things of late. They've really increased, and it's just been phenomenal against a dumpy market. The trend that I'm basically seeing is a completion of this pattern to once again hit down here, and then so that would be like a first dump. You see how that lines up? Boom. One thing to note, you're saying, oh my gosh, you're so bearish. What's going on here? These guys are at all-time highs. From here to here. Look at this. They're at all-time highs, guy. A near parabolic, pretty close to almost parabolic increase. Definitely parabolic right in here in this range, right? Wham. Definitely parabolic. It's slowing down. It's doing a slow bleed. This is a distribution pattern here. This slow bleed stuff with a little chop. That's distribution. And they're getting ready. We'll see what happens. I think they're getting ready for it to go down here, and we'll see. The thing is that there has just been too much shilling out in the market for XRP. Just way too much. These are not organic growths. Definitely not. And there's been way, way, way too much shilling. And I think that yeah, there's been some big buys, and I think, yeah, we're going to see some reds start to come our way, and probably for a mirror of this pattern that's right here to just go boom. So we'll see. Could that happen? Yeah. Could it not happen? Of course. Of course. It's a market. I mean, I'm just giving you my opinion. But the thing is on why here is, yeah, I think this is very weak up in here, okay? And when it goes down, it only has this one level of support. This over here is a little bit, but it's already past that, okay? But once it passes this level, there's nothing to support it until here, and this is pretty weak support. And then so if it hits there, it'll probably drop down a little bit further into a much stronger somewhat area of support. And then after that, if things really like go awry, if people start giving up, that type of thing, then yeah, we could be looking at you know, back at October 17 levels, okay, which is this box here. So yeah, huge spike up, but right now it mooned. This mooned and it went above its previous all-time high. What more could you ask for? Now people are saying like 589. Well, 589 is so far off of this chart. It's like, guys, come on. Come on. If you want it to go to 589, hey, I'll sell you some bags. Anyway, so that's XRP. Do I like this coin? Yes, I like XRP. I like Ripple as a company better. If I could get Ripple on the stock exchange, hey, you know, that's exciting. XRP is exciting too, but keep in mind XRP and Ripple are not connected, and that's important for them to be disconnected as far as all this SEC ruling goes, whether it's a security or not or whatever. So we might see some stuff about them reiterating that they're somewhat distant from XRP. It can help with a little bit as far as filling in the gap for short-term liquidity needs. All right, but beyond that, as far as it, I don't know, it's just a lot of stuff out there that doesn't make a lot of sense. Ripple with X Current, awesome, totally cool, really great software. Speed the heck up and give Swift a real kick in the pants and some competition. It's been it's been on its own for way too long without any competition, and yeah, things have been a little bit too cozy for Swift, and so here comes X Current and excuse me, yeah, here comes Ripple with their banking processes, and yeah, so they could really give Swift a run for their money. XRP, man, yeah, I don't know. I mean, banks don't have to use XRP. They can use other things for liquidity, right? Which might be cheaper because you have this thing called supply and demand where all of a sudden the price spikes up. There'll be a lot less demand, and what happens is if it goes beyond their budgeted costs, they're going to go to the next thing that's less expensive for them, or the cheapest thing they can find, because they want to maximize profits. And that's all there is to it. They're not going to be forced to purchase $589 XRP. I mean, there's no way. Would you think of it this way? Would you go out and buy a $600 Big Mac or $4 or $5 Burger King thing? Whoops, get out of there. Well, if you're forced to, yeah, you get the $600 Big Mac. Otherwise, you're going to go get the Whopper, right? Yeah, because you have a choice. The banks have a choice as well. So keep that in mind. They are not locked in and not forced to have the profits sucked away from them. That is like the last thing that's going to happen. And, you know, if you're an XRP Moon Boy, I suggest that you really start looking into banking and getting yourself educated on businesses and finance and economics and supply and demand and demand curves and all this stuff and how it all works, okay? But I know that hardly any of my listeners are Moon Boys. They're realists, and they're super duper uber smart, and they have great comments. And that was one of the reasons why I brought up the MatrixAI thing, because that was a comment in a previous video. I said, hey, you know, key is like totally awesome, cool, great. Look at all these government contracts. Does anybody know any of any others? And so this one guy, one viewer, Ali, said, hey, what about MatrixAI, you know, and you know, some other stuff. And I appreciate those comments. I mean, those are good, valuable comments to have a discussion about, okay? And also another thing it's important to not be married to coins. Look at this. You can, just looking at this, let's say we take a split right here. Okay, boom. We split this in half, left and right, right? Look at this pattern. Zoop. Okay, right now we're about here. Whoops, didn't want to do that. There. Right now we're about here, okay? Yeah, I know it's not to that extent. If you take this side over here, this side over here, and compare it to about here, there you go. What do you think is going to happen next? Okay, what do you think is going to happen next? What has happened? Get this stupid thing out of there. What has happened in the past? Right? You tell me, guys. You tell me. All right, let's go look at XLM. Very similar thing. XLM is a little bit easier to read because it follows more of our Markovian patterns. You don't have the huge spikes like you do in XRP, and it's actually more organic. So it's a lot more organic than XRP as far as the trading goes. How do I know that? Because I charted their the sentiment. Okay, I charted the sentiment, and the price followed it pretty dang close. Okay, went up, and it did just that. It went up, and yeah, there's a little bit of level off, and hey, that's exactly what it's doing. Now I have my boxes here. Okay, so it's like hitting this one box. Let me turn auto back on. Okay, it's hitting this one box. It's coming out of this channel, this one channel right here. It looks like it's dropping out, and then once again we're looking for support. Previous lines of activity here, right along here. That's pretty stable right around there. Boom. So there's an X box. When it falls out of here, it'll fall out of here because there isn't any lines of support. There's one thing here, a little bit right there, but that's not enough really for me to draw a line of support. I like more activity like this to actually draw a line of support. So I'm thinking, yeah, okay, fine. It's getting tired. It's had its due. It is way above all-time highs, guys. Way above all-time highs. Okay, it has mooned. This is mooned, okay? Granted, it's not dollar-wise. It's Satoshi-wise. This is versus Ether. It has absolutely mooned against Ether. Okay? And so there's two ways you can look at the market. You can do it by USD value, or you can do it by sats. And these guys, I'm doing it by sats. That's just how I roll, okay? But looking at it that way, this thing has mooned. Congratulations to the stellar folks out there. Wonderful, wonderful times. Time for celebration. And right now, what have we had? We've had one top, two top. Okay? One top, two top. And people know that I got out. I got out of all of my XML a little while ago. I did a video, and when I did it, I said I FOMO'd out. But I did that at the very top. And notice this 1-2 pattern here. If we go over to BTC USD, where have we seen this? Where have we seen that little double thing of where a lot of people wish they had gotten out? Right here. Boom. Okay. Right there. Top confirmation. It's done. Zoom. That's how I see it. Leave your comments on how you see it. But that's an example. So XLM, great project. You have IBM and stuff going on in there. Lots of interesting energy for it going on in the future. And hey, you know, it's you know, I like XLM. Let's see, did I bring the right one up? There. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of XLM. Look, got out at the top after it mooned. What more could you ask? Okay, so that is XLM. We covered that. We covered, and this is a distribution pattern right up here. We had a big spring down here, and I'm talking about Wyckoff. You had a big spring to the creek. You had a markup phase going on here, a little bit of a distribution, and then redistribution test. See how high it can go. Dump the bags. That's what happens, and then drop the bags, and then it deflates, and then it starts all over again. Okay, that's pretty much the pattern. And you can look at Wyckoff. Just look at the pictures, read up on it, do whatever. If you're wondering what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's XLM. We looked at that. We looked at, let's go look at VeChain real quick. See where that's at. VeChain is just kind of doing its thing, and then here's market sentiment. So we'll see what happens. I have a target box over here, and so we'll just see. Doesn't mean it's going to hit it, but you know, we'll see. And this is VET versus ETH. What is VET versus USDT? So about the same thing. Okay, so we'll see what's going on right now. It's sucking wind. Great. You know, look at this big dump. Boom. This is down from excuse me, when it switched over from VEN to VET. Yeah, it took a dump. Oh well, happens. Sucking wind. Check out VET. A lot of good partnerships. Once again, it has some national stuff going on, that liquefied natural gas thingy. Check them out. Not saying buy them or sell them or whatever. Just check it out. Yeah. And was there any I wanted to discuss on? We covered pretty much the majority of stuff. We covered how pretty much everything is sucking wind. That's about it. But also keep in mind that for me, my trading style is long term, which is a year out. Okay, a year at a minimum, and that has to deal with tax reasons, unless I want to take a loss to offset gains, and then, you know, do something and rebuy back in, you know, if I'm playing like some type of really very short swing trade. But you know, that's just me. But follow your own instincts, follow your own head, your own gut. That's it. I certainly wouldn't rely on me or any other YouTuber out there per se. Yeah, I mean, it's your money. It should be your decision, right? I don't let other people make my decision, but I'm just sharing stuff with you. Also keep in mind, you know, I cover a lot about VeChain and TheKey, and I did cover a lot of stuff about XRP and XLM and stuff. I haven't been paid by anyone. Okay, the only thing I have out there is like a little video on how to create a spreadsheet to keep track of, to gauge and keep track of fundamental analysis. You know, for your own. That's about it. It should, if you're not doing that and you do like fundamental analysis, check it out. But other than that, that's about it. And it's like $9. I mean, it's like nothing. It's nothing. Anyway, so if there's I'll go check the chat, see if there's anybody on there. If not, I'll take off real quick, and then yeah, there's a comment. So I'll go check it out real quick. Oh, what about the Coinbase effect? Forget about it. Forget about the Coinbase effect for XLM. Those days are over. Those days are pretty much gone and over. I mean, you can look at what 0x that just got listed. Okay, yeah, you might see a short pump, but as far as long-term effect, as far as that goes, I really don't see it happening. There's a lot of things going where people can get on board, and the people that are in the market right now know how to get on board through other avenues. Now, in the future, when after BAT gets going and some other of these funds get going, where it brings in the casual retail investor, they might want to get on and get on board, and that's when it could have an effect. But not till a couple months later, until BACT and the other trading desks get launched, and when they start having their advertising going and so on and so forth like that, because then Coinbase is going to have to advertise. Now I'm talking big buck, big dollar advertising. We haven't seen that yet, and that's because they'll be in competition. There'll be a lot of competition for those dollars out there. So not until then. So that could be 7, 8, 9 months down the road from now, and we'll just see. And that's if if XLM even gets listed. Okay. And Neo says you're selling. Well, don't follow me. Follow your own. Follow your own. Okay. Don't follow me. That is for sure. If you're selling, you're selling. If you're buying, you're buying. If you're going to sit on the sidelines, that's what you do. Yeah, certainly don't sell, because I think it's going to go down. I mean, my gosh, I have been wrong so many times. It's if I had a nickel if I had an XRP for every time I've been wrong, yeah, I'd be sitting pretty. But anyway, do what you got to do. Follow your own thing. Figure out what works best for you, and go from there. Okay. But anyway, best of luck to you for whatever you guys do. And yeah, so anyway, I'm checking out, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. And don't forget that this is short-term stuff. The long-term future for cryptocurrency is bright. Yes, sirree, Bob. So have a wonderful day, and talk to you later. Bye.